Yeah, cute couple. Or are they? I saw there was drama on Twitter, so I pulled these images off of some gossip celebrity website. And I don't know if there's discourse happening. Hey, baby, take a look. Jonah Hill being cringe? Yeah, I kind of think so. Just a little bit. So there's this chick called Sarah Brady. Let's get a picture of her, even though that's haram. Is that haram's the bad one, right? I don't actually know. Yeah, halal is the good one. Haram is the bad one, right? Here they are. A lovely couple. Jonah Hill and Sarah Brady. They both look very beach tinted, which is fitting because she's a surfer. I don't know if Jonah Hill is a surfer. I don't think he is. I like their suit, matching suit. It's very cute. She looks better in that fit than he does. I mean, I think they both look fine here. I think she looks nicer generally, but I don't know. Yeah, cute couple. Or are they? Our lady over here leaked some text recently. Now, I'll leave the ethics on leaked texts aside. That's like a separate thing. But she has concerns about the ways in which she's being treated. So she posted these to her Insta story alleging that she's experiencing abuse from Jonah Hill. And to provide evidence for it, she posted these texts. Isn't that Binkle's ex? No, I think that's a different person. So abuse, as it turns out, not good. So what's happening here? I did read these beforehand. Oh, it is? Wait, is this actually Jackson Hinkle's ex? No way, really? No, that can't be true. Some people are saying it is. I don't know if that's true. You went over it a while ago. I don't know if it's the same girl. Some girl used to be with Jackson Hinkle, then was with Jonah Hill. I don't know if it's the same girl. I don't know. I'm calling cap. I don't care. Whatever. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It might be. Oh, my word. Wow. That's a lot. Okay. They went surfing with Hinkle. San Onofre paddle out with Sarah Brady and Tulsi Gabbard. Oh, yeah. Wait. In 2019, Jackson Hinkle, Tulsi Gabbard, and Sarah Brady went surfing together in California? What on earth? Oh, it's the titty. This is the titty plant. You drive alongside this on the Pacific Highway. This is like a landmark in California. Oh my God, there he is. And there's like wetsuit. It's the squad. Interesting. My God, it really is the same chick. Does anyone else think like Jonah Hill looks a little bit like that guy who would drink his own piss? He talked with David Pacman and drank his own piss. A little bit? It's like the facial hair, I think. Bear Grylls? No, that like weirdo cult TikTok guy, not Bear Grylls. The Liver King? Isn't that a different guy? I don't, okay. God, moving on. Texts from Jonah Hill. A text from Jonah Hill. Plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild, recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, then I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the way these actions have hurt our trust. In other messages, what is this, Facebook Messenger? I don't know. She says, all the posts I removed from my page. And he says, good start. You don't seem to get it, but it's not my place to teach you. I've made my boundaries clear. You refuse to let go of some of them, and you've made that clear, and I hope it makes you happy. Then he posted what seems to be a post she hasn't taken down where she is wearing a bathing suit at the beach while surfing because she's a surfer. And, oh, this is a lot of text from Jonah. I'm just over explaining myself. Post screenshots of surf pics in my Insta feed. It's just constant and doesn't reflect where you're at or where you say you want to be. I respect your skill and your surfing. I respect how you want to present yourself. It's just constant and doesn't reflect where we're at or where you say you want to be. I respect your. I respect you're hot and beautiful. I respect you. Oh my God, this goes on for a while. Holy shit. Okay. I've seen a lot of really weird discourse surrounding this, which is pretty dumb. And thankfully, I have the right opinions on everything concerning romantic engagement. So I'm going to lay down the facts, okay? First of all, people are arguing whether or not this is a misuse of the term boundaries to demand this of a romantic partner. Technically, no. A boundary can include other people's behavior. If it is a boundary for you that your partner be non-monogamous, then it can be a boundary for you that your partner ever interact with men. The question is whether or not the boundary is legitimate or warranted. Not all boundaries are. Lots of boundaries, as a matter of fact, aren't. Your parent telling you, I don't want you bringing any black guys back home, is a personal boundary. That does not mean that it's respectable or reasonable. So I don't think the term boundary is being misused in a technical sense. What I think we're seeing here is an abuse of like therapy coddle speak, if that makes any sense. Because the way that Jonah Hill is texting here is this like overly polite, gritting through teeth, let me lay out these unreasonable demands, but in the framework of like I'm abiding by the language of our like relationship counselor kind of vibe. You know what I mean? It's the way he's talking is like this overly I don't think there's a word for that. Overly therapeutic kind of way. I've seen people do this sometimes. It's not always an abuser thing, but I do think abusers do it sometimes. Where as a way of like theraputized, is that a word? Theraputized sounds like it could be a word. You understand what I'm saying. I've seen this from some people where they try to cover up bad behavior by framing it in like therapy language. So true, the phrase trauma dumping gets misused a lot. Does anyone remember that TikTok where it's like are you in a space where I can share information that could potentially hurt you? Or it was like that one person who kept giving advice on how to talk to people, and it was basically like treat everybody like a professional email contact who is also on the verge of a mass shooting, so you have to talk to them in this like patronizing therapy speak kind of way. You know what I mean? You know, you remember what I'm talking about, right? That thing went viral. Can somebody find it? Somebody find it for me, please. So we can get an example of that kind of behavior being spoken. That woman, find that example, please. So that's not good. I don't think it's bad in heated situations to default to this kind of like HR department speak, but it depends on what information you're trying to present. Obviously, these expectations for a relationship are ridiculous. She's a surfer. He went after her knowing that she's a surfer. So then he's like, I'm really disappointed with how you haven't conformed to my expectations vis-a-vis my boundaries of you surfing with men, modeling, posting pictures of yourself in your bathing suit. Like, it's like, okay, so like why? Why go after her then? And the reason for that is because a lot of controlling guys like finding strong women and then putting them in a box, basically. Like, I think there was a quote that from a movie that someone put in a Twitter post where it's like, you know, a lot of men like submissive women, but they're not. Or a lot of men want to have a submissive woman, but they don't go after submissive women. They go after strong, independent women and try to break them into being submissive, because it's the process of taking a strong woman and domesticizing her that a lot of these guys fetishize as like a tactic of control over women. Because simply finding a woman who's just kind of naturally submissive, of which there are plenty, to be fair, isn't like, that doesn't scratch the itch the way like breaking down a stronger woman does. Now, I think that behavior is psychotic. If this is like some kind of I don't know, if this is some kind of like long form kink dynamic or whatever, then I don't know, talk it out with your partner. But in terms of like a guideline for how you handle your relationships broadly, like I think that's pretty bad. It's not very good. Seems to be what he's doing. A lot of people have just been arguing over whether or not he's been good in making his desires clear. He has. The problem isn't the clarity of Jonah Hill's communication. The problem is with what he's communicating. You don't get a pass on bad behavior because you've expressed it in a kind, considerate, clear way. It helps to express it in those ways, but that's mostly about avoiding miscommunication. If you are unambiguously communicating bad things, then, you know, that's that, right? Are TikTok links okay? Did you find it? Let me see. Oh, I think you found it.
I've noticed you've been withdrawn and haven't wanted to hang out recently. What's going on? I've treasured our season of friendship, but we're moving in different directions in life. I don't have the capacity to invest in our friendship any longer. Is it something I did? This feels really sudden. I get that it might be hard to understand, but I've been reevaluating many areas of my life recently, including my ability to be a good friend to you. I just want to be honest and upfront so I don't disappoint your expectations. I'm sorry if this feels painful and confusing. I wish you all love and success.
This could be like a bit, but I don't think it is. This account seems sincere. This one just went viral for being especially egregious. Is she always like this?
What does compassionate self-talk look like? Is that voice in your head kind and compassionate, or is it cruel and critical? Most of us talk to ourselves in a way that would make people cringe if they heard it out loud. Instead of, I can't believe you did that. That was so stupid. Try, okay, I'm human. I can just try that again. When you do something embarrassing.
Okay, I don't know. I just think it's worth noting that the therapy talk shit can be a good way of like communicating something calmly and clearly. But sometimes it can be quite bad. Sometimes it can actually be very bad. If you're having a heated conversation with somebody with a lot of like heavy emotional investment from both ends, and one person just kind of withdraws into this this like distanced professional speak, I think it can come across as quite disrespectful or psychotic. And apparently they have a couples therapist who gave the lady here advice. This is from a text to another friend. She had me agree to paddle away from any man that approached me in the water, no matter his age. I was instructed to say, I'm going to go talk to my boyfriend, then paddle away. So, in my personal opinion, if you're a couples therapist and the guy says, yeah, I don't want my girl ever talking to men while surfing, I don't think you should say, okay, here are some strategies on how to avoid ever engaging with men while surfing. The power dynamic here is kind of unclear because any couple therapist that Jonah Hill would go to would be like a Hollywood couple therapist, probably one who knows Jonah Hill and is being paid a lot of money. And I kind of get the feeling that a couple therapist would be inclined to provide advice that Jonah Hill would like, because that would mean continued clientship from him and his large amount of money. You know what I mean? Like if she said something like, "Whoa, that doesn't seem reasonable. If you don't like that, then you should bail or whatever." Jonah Hill would probably not pay for continued sessions. But just a guess of mine. Vosh, read more into it. Your perspective may shift a bit. Interesting, Spacebox Man. In what way? Read more into it. I read the article that these pictures were attached to. Is there more information I don't have? I'm not heavily invested in this. I want to know, is there more info I can look into? Read harder? I'm reading as hard as I can, but I think I've read all the letters on the image here. Read it backwards? Okay, I'll sure, if you're not going to reply, I'll Google. Hold on. Jonah Hill texts. What about the Washington Post? That doesn't have more images. I'm fairly certain there were more screenshots. Okay. Where? Okay, if you want to link something, you can. The only thing that I'm not entirely sure I understand is like what the girlfriend said in response to all of this. Because if Jonah Hill laid out his ridiculous and, in my mind at least, overly controlling demands of her, and then she responded with, "Yeah, sure, let's do that." I guess, like, were those texts from the beginning of the relationship? Was there a financial dynamic? Like, I'm very curious. The texts she leaked were from 2 years ago. What, like, why didn't she leave? You know, oftentimes there are, complicating factors when it comes to, especially with like powerful men. So I'd be curious if there was, not to say he like threatened her or anything, though that's certainly not off the table. That happens all the time in relationships. But be curious what exactly led to that dynamic being perpetuated. A lot of text screenshots, yeah. All the same, even if she behaved stupidly and agreed to a relationship that she shouldn't have been in, I still think that Jonah Hill's demands are abusive. I don't think it's okay to be like overly controlling just because you find a partner who's okay with it. There are plenty of people who are weak-willed, subservient, and permissive and will allow themselves to be mistreated. I don't think that means it's not mistreatment. I do think that it's unreasonable to say stuff like, you can't interact with men to a partner. Even if they agree, I just think it's bad to ask that or to demand that or whatever. Okay, more images. Reviving a pic I took down by request of a misogynistic narcissist. Okay. Toxic. Okay, not relevant. Her talking with other friends. I feel like she's releasing this information in a fairly, like, silly way. Like doing a gigantic Insta story dump where you just dump a ton of texts with Jonah with other people rather than, like, a statement or, like, yeah, I don't know. It speaks to me of, like, immaturity, personally. But, not everyone handles stuff like this in the best way, I guess. I don't even know to what extent she's been subjected to abusive behavior. I'm not even calling Jonah Hill an abuser because I don't even know the dynamic of their relationship. All I know is that those texts were bad. That's it. Without any more knowledge about how exactly the relationship panned out or anything specific happening in it, I can't even make the claim that he's an abuser. Only that, like, the dynamic that he expressed he wanted would be one I consider abusive. Yeah, it does seem like she's just venting. He'd laugh when I said it was really hurt her, said it was weird. Dude, same, like, haha, wow, that's crazy, you're upset by that or upset about. That's wild, you're so self-centered. For me, it was also, I'm not dumb, I see you using me for my money to gain clout and attract men with your slutty Instagram pics of you surfing in swimsuits because you have some fucked up internal desire for male validation. If this is an accurate characterization of what Jonah Hill said, this would be more like manipulation through therapy speak, right? Like, rather than saying you're a slut, it's like, well, you have this internal desire for male validation, probably tied to your childhood trauma, bipolar disorder, hypersexuality. Right. Manipulation station. Toxic gossip train. Da 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 da. This information. See, I don't know why Instagram people do this, where in order to convey information in a story, they'll add like 7 sources of text. Okay. Now we just have memes being peppered in. Okay. We have memes peppered in with like the actual info. It's literally just like Instagram brainworms. Ugh. Okay. Somebody responding and saying they appreciate them sharing this info. Okay. Talking about narcissism as a trait. That's it? Okay, I didn't get much information from this. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't get a particularly mature or well put together vibe from her based on the way she's talking about this personally. Again, I know that, like, you know, if you're a victim of abuse, it can be complicated to, but it seems like a lot of this stuff is being done in retrospect or like about old information. And if you're gonna do that, like just dropping texts and then like memes, yeah. I know it's venting, but like when you're venting and also accusing a celebrity of abuse, just freely intertwining them, I don't know. It doesn't mean she's evil or manipulative or anything like that. She might be trying to get internet points. Everyone is trying to get internet points anytime they do anything on the internet. If you're posting something online, you're probably looking to get some kind of attention from at least some people. I don't think that like delegitimizes what you're saying. If she was doing this only for attention, that's a pretty strong claim that I don't think is warranted. Unless there's some info, I don't know. Again, my broader point here is just about the nature of the messages that we did see from Jonah Hill, which just, you know, come up. I mean, like, look at this. Yeah. Like, I didn't even read this one over here on the right. This is from Jonah Hill. Take some accountability and operate with respect. It's that simple, because I'm tired of your attitude towards surf culture, that contest and that place, because I deserve respect, period. I have been more than patient, and then shit like this is still here. That contest, that place, and not respecting me always in every situation within surf culture, or you don't get it, and you don't get me. It's hurtful and unacceptable to me. Get it? I don't know if you get it or care or give a shit about that shit more than me, even after Dr. Stern, that's the couples therapist, has said it loud and clear. So he does come off like an unhinged psycho here, who's having a narcissistic power trip. It is impossible to look at Jonah Hill in a positive light through any of this. Whereas the worst that I can say of the lady is that she's immature and poorly considered in her response. That is the opposite of surfer vibes. Oh no, he is not demonstrating surfer vibes here. Not even a little bit. Anyway, it seems like she probably should have left the relationship earlier than she did. But she didn't. There can be a lot of reasons stuff like that happens, you know. Perfect relationships don't exist. Bad ones can take a while to end. Also, to the people who are saying, well, why didn't she leave? Here's another question. Why didn't he leave? He's the one who, in all these messages, is expressing unhappiness with the state of affairs. If she's not the partner that he was looking for because she won't stop talking to all men and give up her entire life to respect him, why didn't he leave? It seems like he was willing to deal with her, misbehavior in the context of him continuing to discipline her, or demand more of her. So I think you could fairly argue, like, well, bro, why didn't you leave, right? Whatever the case is, you know. All those comedy guys from my childhood suck, don't they? Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen. Does Seth Rogen suck? Has Seth Rogen done anything like super bad? He's kind of iffy. Well, but what? I thought he just did pottery and like smoked weed. Super bad? I haven't seen super bad. I don't know if there's a meme here. Seth Rogen actually dropped James Franco over Me Too shit. Seems good. It could be good, yeah. He's just a bit obnoxious. Okay, so he's not done anything really bad. Somebody just said he's bad too, and a lot of people were like, but you don't actually know. You just said because you didn't want to sound like you were defending a Hollywood star. You said without knowing anything. Okay, great. Thank you. Didn't Seth Rogen do some NFT crypto shit? Okay, to be fair, a lot of people did. Not everyone understands the whole like Web 3.0 grift thing going on. For a lot of people, it's just like, oh, this hot new trend. This is why I reassured people that like your favorite corporation or content creator isn't necessarily bad for getting into the NFT thing. A lot of them were persuaded into it by like soulless middle manager types that have like half their portfolio invested in crypto, who are trying to like push the tech as a way of boosting their, like, it's not like a willful, yeah, let's get in on Web 3.0 shit all the time. Sometimes it is, but oftentimes not always. Sorry, Web 3, not 3.0. But you would be bad if you did, though? Yeah, because I know how bad it is. And the NFT stuff is gone now. The worth of all the NFTs has dropped like 99%. People don't talk about NFTs anymore. It worked. We bullied it into, you know? Some people made off with a lot of money, sure. But that's how these pyramid schemes always go. It's just a quick bubble, you know?